Good morning, everyone. Before we begin today's discussion, I trust that you have all read the hypothetical scenario about Metro Manila General Hospital's Hospital Information System implementation that I have uploaded in our Diagler. So, that hypothetical scenario will be our primary reference throughout today's session. Now, let me start with a story that might seem unrelated to Dr. Lay Medina's struggles at MMGH, but bear with me, okay? So on February 7, 2005, a young British sailor named Ellen MacArthur, maybe you're also familiar with this, accomplished something extraordinary. So she sailed solo around the world in 71 days. Imagine that? 14 hours and 18 minutes and 33 seconds. So very precise, very accurate measurement. So beating the previous record by over a day. Okay, so for 71 days, she battled mountainous seas, icebergs, gale force winds, and even had a near miss with a whale. But here is the question that connects to our hypothetical scenario. Was Ellen really sailing alone? Well, physically, the answer is yes. But listen to what she said about her achievement. She said, "It has always been about the team. People only see me on the boat, but I would not be here or achieve the same things we have without the team behind me. A group of people committed to what we do, passionate about what we do, who get me from A to B in one piece." Okay? So behind that solo sailor was Mark Turner, the project manager, coordinating all the technical and commercial aspects. So there was a team of specialists, supporters, and partners working together seamlessly to make her success possible. So now, in contrast with Dr. Lay Medina's situation at MMGH Hospital, okay, she had IT professionals, clinicians, and administrative staff, all the right people with Dr. Medina. But unlike Ellen MacArthur's coordinated team effort, Dr. Medina's project became a case study in what happens when brilliant individuals do not function as an effective team. So the result, their project, the HIS implementation, that is 30% over budget, 6 months behind schedule, with low staff morale at an all-time with staff morale at an all-time low. Okay? So this brings us to chapter 11, which is about project organization, structures, and teams. So today, we are going to explore why Ellen MacArthur's team succeeded in one of the most challenging individual endeavors on earth, while Dr. Medina's team struggled with a hospital information system. We will discover that the difference often is not in the technical complexity. It is in understanding how to organize people and manage human dynamics. So by the end of this presentation, you will be able to identify the key components of three critical areas that could have saved Dr. Medina months of headaches. So the first one is the project teams. The second one is the organizational structures. And the third one is the people management. So these are not just theoretical concepts. They are the diagnostic tools that help you understand why Ellen MacArthur's team achieved record-breaking success, while the MMGH implementation struggled with predictable human dynamics. So let us start with teams, okay? So Dr. Medina assembled what she thought was a team, okay? IT professionals, clinicians, and administrative staff. But here is the fundamental question. Was it really a team or just a group of people working on the same project? Ellen MacArthur understood the difference. Her support team wasn't just a collection of individuals. They were groups of people working together to achieve a common goal, producing results greater than the sum of individual efforts. So, real teams have four key benefits that were clearly present in MacArthur's record: breaking voyage but missing at MMGH. Now, first, they can be more creative and consider more options. Now, imagine if Dr. Aquino's concerns about time away from patient care had been addressed during the design phase, not after the implementation. Now, second, they make better decisions because multiple viewpoints help catch problems early, unlike the patient ID formatting issues discovered only during testing. And the third, members are more motivated and support each other. Quite the opposite of what happened when senior doctors started boycotting training sessions. And finally, they are more willing to take risks since responsibility is shared, something Ellen MacArthur's team demonstrated perfectly. But here is what Dr. Medina probably didn't realize. Teams do not just magically become effective from day one. They go through predictable stages: the forming, the conflict, working things out, high performance, and eventually decline. Now, Ellen MacArthur's team clearly progressed through these stages successfully, while the MMGH team got stuck in the conflict phase. Now, understanding these changes is like having a GPS for team development. It tells you where you are and what to expect next. Now, let me paint you a picture of what these stages look like using the MMGH hypothetical scenario. The forming stage is like those initial project meetings where everyone was excited about the potential benefits of the new system. Everyone's polite, eager, but also a bit uncertain about their role, just like Ellen MacArthur's team in their early planning meetings. Then came the conflict stage. And we can see this clearly when Dr. Inting from Emergency demanded real-time bed management features, and the Chief of Surgery wanted custom surgery scheduling. So this is when people start voicing their real opinions and disagreeing with each other. Now, Ellen MacArthur's team would have worked through these conflicts constructively, but Dr. Medina's team let conflict lead to budget overruns and timeline extensions instead of using it as an opportunity to refine their approach. Now, the working things out stage is when teams start finding their groove after navigating through conflicts. So when Ellen MacArthur's team clearly reached this stage, they developed trust, harmony, and confidence in each other's abilities. Well, unfortunately, the MMGH team never really reached this stage effectively. High performance would have looked like the IT team, clinicians, and administrators working together as smoothly as Ellen MacArthur's support crew managed her technical and logistical needs. Instead of discovering integration problems during testing, a high-performing team would have identified and addressed these issues during planning. The decline stage? We can see signs of it in the MMGH hypothetical scenario. They have poor training attendance, staff resistance growing, and morale hitting rock bottom. Well, Ellen MacArthur's team managed to avoid this by maintaining focus and commitment throughout their challenging journey. Okay, understanding these changes could have helped Dr. Medina just as they helped Ellen MacArthur's project manager, Mark Turner. So she could have recognized that Dr. Inting's demands were not just difficult stakeholder management. There were signs of a team in the conflict stage that needed facilitation, not just scope control. So she could have helped the team move through difficult stages more quickly by creating structured processes for handling conflicting requirements, just as Ellen MacArthur's team had clear protocols for handling emergencies at sea. By recognizing these stages, managers can better support their team throughout the project lifecycle instead of being surprised by predictable human dynamics. Now, let's talk about structures. How organizations arrange people to get work done. So Ellen MacArthur's team operated with a clear project structure focused entirely on one goal. The MMGH, however, was operating in a typical functional structure where departments worked in silos, contributing to many of their problems. Now, there are three main approaches here. The functional structures group people by specialty. The pure project structures create temporary teams for specific projects. And the matrix structures try to get the best of both worlds where people report to both functional and project managers. Now, Ellen MacArthur's team operated more like a pure project structure. Everyone was focused solely on one goal, getting her around the world safely and quickly. MMGH, however, was clearly using a functional structure, and we can see both the benefits and the problems these created. The pros of MMGH's functional approach were evident. They had efficient grouping of specialists together, clear career paths for individuals like Dr. Aquino in cardiology, and administration systems that were already geared to this way of working. Ellen MacArthur's team, operating as a pure project structure, because they had highly flexible resources focused solely on the sailing project and clear accountability to one goal. But look at the cons that plague MMGH functional approach. It was detrimental to creativity because departments could not easily collaborate. It was less responsive to changing needs. Now remember how the IT team spent weeks developing a report generator that didn't meet clinical staff needs, and yet it led to empire building. So each department head was more concerned with their own area than the overall project success. However, on the other hand, Ellen MacArthur never faced these issues because everyone in her team understood their role in the largest mission. In the larger mission. So the pure project approach that Ellen MacArthur used also has drawbacks. Temporary team commitment and difficulty passing lessons learned to future project. But for a focused, time-limited goal like a record-breaking voyage or a hospital information system implementation, these cons are often outweighed by the benefits of unified focus. Now, a matrix structure might have been ideal for MMGH HIS implementation, and it is actually closer to how Ellen MacArthur's team operated. The pros include sustainability for organizations with multiple orientations. serving different medical specialties while implementing a unified system and allowing resources sharing across departments. Now, Ellen MacArthur's team had specialists also from different areas, all reporting to the project manager, Mac Turner, while maintaining their technical expertise. But the cons we see played out in real time at MMGH include power struggles between functional department heads and the project team, employees like the nursing staff facing the two bosses problem, their ward managers versus the project requirements, and the system becoming overly complex and bureaucratic. Well, Ellen MacArthur avoided these pitfalls by having clear authority structures and communication protocols from the beginning. So, this brings us to the human side, the managing people. Well, Ellen MacArthur's success and Dr. Medina's struggles both demonstrate that the biggest challenges in project management are not technical, they are human. Managing people involves getting the best performance from team members. Now, Ellen MacArthur's team excelled at this, while the MMGH case shows us exactly what happens when this goes wrong. Key aspects include understanding personality types and how they affect team dynamics. Ellen MacArthur's team clearly had people who understood how to work with different personalities, while Dr. Medina struggled with resistance from people like Dr. Aquino running effective meetings. On the other hand, Ellen MacArthur's team had clear communication protocols, while MMGH HIS training sessions failed because they were not designed with clear purpose and appropriate attendance or attendees. Now, dealing with communication gaps, Ellen MacArthur's team had seamless coordination, while the MMGH suffered from gaps between IT and clinical staff. So one of the most practical tools for understanding what made Ellen MacArthur's team successful and what went wrong at MMGH comes from Meredith Belbin. Okay? So he is shown that he's shown that teams need a balance of different personality types to function effectively. Now, Ellen MacArthur's team likely had this balance naturally, while looking at the MMGH hypothetical scenario through Belbin's framework reveals some critical gaps that might explain their struggles. Now, let me show you how this works using the actual people from our MMGH case study. And imagine how Ellen MacArthur's team might have differed. Dr. Lay Medina was functioning as the plant, okay? The creative problem solver trying to envision how technology could transform patient care. Ellen MacArthur herself filled this role, constantly innovating solutions to salient challenges. Now, MMGH didn't have a clear resource investigator, someone who should have been exploring opportunities and developing contacts with other hospitals. While Ellen MacArthur's team had people actively seeking out weather information, route optimizations, and technical support. Now, the chairperson, Garcia, was acting as the coordinator at the highest level, similar to how Ellen MacArthur's team had clear coordination at the project level through Mac Turner. Now, Dr. Inting from Emergency was clearly a shaper, okay? Challenging, dynamic, pushing for additional features, while Ellen MacArthur's team would have channeled these energy constructively rather than letting it derail the project. Now, Mr. Tan, the finance director, was the monitor evaluator. Then Ellen MacArthur's team had similar roles ensuring resources were used efficiently. So here is a critical gap. MMGH needed team workers to improve cooperation between departments, but instead saw growing resistance, while Ellen MacArthur's team clearly had strong team workers keeping everyone focused on the common goal. Now, the IT team members were implementers, but they were working in isolation. And Ellen MacArthur's technical team were also implementers, but they worked closely with all other team members. Now, MMGH desperately needed a completer finisher for thorough testing and quality assurance. Now, the security vulnerabilities discovered late in the project suggest this role was actually missing. Now, on the other hand, Ellen MacArthur's team clearly had this covered, given the successful completion of such a complex endeavor. And while MMGH had specialists providing medical expertise, they were not effectively integrated into the project team. Ellen MacArthur's specialists were fully integrated and communicating constantly. So you see the difference now. Okay? So, what's the difference then between Ellen MacArthur's record-breaking success and Dr. Medina's struggling implementation? Well, it wasn't the technical complexity. Both faced enormous challenges. It was not the resources, because both had access to talented people. The difference was in understanding and managing the human dynamics of project work. Now, Ellen MacArthur's team succeeded because they understood that projects are not delivered by schedules and budgets alone. They are delivered by people working together effectively. They had the right structure focused on a clear goal, they had progressed through team development stages successfully, and they had the right mix of personalities working in harmony. While on the other hand, Dr. Medina's challenges were not really about technology. Okay, it wasn't about technology. They were about human dynamics that could have been predicted and managed. The functional structure created silos that hindered communication. The team never progressed through healthy and development stages, and critical personality types were either missing or not effectively utilized. But here is the hopeful part. Understanding these frameworks give us the tools to diagnose and fix these problems. So Dr. Medina could still turn this project around by recognizing where her team is in the development cycle, addressing structural barriers to collaboration, and also ensuring she has the right mix of personalities working effectively together. As Ellen MacArthur said, okay, I will repeat, it is always been about a team. So whether you are sailing around the world or implementing a hospital information system, success comes down to creating conditions where people can work together effectively to achieve something greater than any individual could accomplish alone. So the question for all of us as future project managers is, will we create teams like Ellen MacArthur's that achieve that impossible? Or will we repeat Dr. Medina's struggles? The choice is ours. And now we have the frameworks to make it continuously. We have the frameworks to make it consciously. So that's it. Thank you. And let us open this up for discussion and how you might apply these insights to your company study and to your, of course, to your project proposal. See you on our next class. Have a great day, everyone.